Heidi, hey. I mean, really? He. Oh, photo data. Oh, okay, my bad. Let me check the room. My name is Quiana Lynell, as Mr. Douglas so eloquently said. I am a touring international artist who is also a teaching artist as well. Teaching is a passion of mine. So I see a lot of people that I've seen in classrooms all around. And fortunately, I've been doing this long enough that I also now hire some of my students, and that is the vibe. I really felt old this year. I had students on the bandstand with me at Jazz Fest, and I was like, ooh, these are men now. Like, y'all men. Like, the last time I went to New York a couple weeks ago, I couldn't get my cats to play, and I hired, Seth Finch, who is a graduate from here. I was in New York doing a gig, and he was like, Miss Quiana, can you come do this gig with me? And I was like, I ain't got nothing to do. So I went, sent them all my charts, all these cats at Juilliard, New School of Music in Juilliard, and we did a set at a jam session. And I went to rehearsal, and I was like, hey, babies, and they looking at me like, you ain't no kids. Handed out all my charts, these cats blew through my music. Like, I've been to rehearsals with people who are the cats. And I'd be like, bruh, I'm really a soul singer. Like, this ain't jazz. It's soul. Why are we struggling? So to go to a rehearsal with cats that are in school, 20 years old, 21, graduating, and the rehearsal be like, next. That's the vibe. That's what gets you on tour at 20. That's what gets you in Europe. And you like, I don't know how I'm here. And I just came home with $3,000. I ain't never made this much money playing music in my life. Do your job. All right, so that was a story I wouldn't even plan on telling y'all today. But I am a band leader. I've hired almost all your teachers at some point in our careers. We've worked together. They've hired me. I am a band leader, though. I'm not a sideman, and that is something that you have to determine for yourself. Right? So today I'm going to talk about 3 P's. 3 P's. I'm a teacher. I'm also a little preacher, so I'm always got to give a little lesson. So make sure give me my time. You're personal, you're prepared, and then you're a person, right? Personal, prepared person. First thing first, this business is built on opinions. Everything in this business is an opinion. I'm sorry. Let me turn that off. Everything. And it's all based on how somebody's feeling that day. You could do the same set in New York that you did in New Orleans, and you have the same critic in the same place, and the bartender didn't fill up his drink before he came in your set, and now he mad. Or your saxophone player has on some shoes that he doesn't like from a set, like, I can't believe they came out here with tennis shoes. This is the blah, blah, blah. It's an opinion. You know what we do with those? You have to believe in yourself like nobody else. Like nobody else. When nobody else is feeling what you're doing, nobody else is feeling shedding, nobody else is feeling this recording, nobody else is feeling not going out because I really haven't done the work I needed to do this week, you have to do that. Period. It's a personal journey full of opinions, right? So with that being said, don't take things personally. Even when somebody gives you a compliment, you have no idea what is going through that person's brain. We are people. We have conversations with ourselves all day. Today, I'm going to go out and I'm going to be nice to 10 people today. Hey, you sounded great tonight. This man never talks to me. Not saying that it can't be genuine, but don't put so much emphasis on what somebody tells you. A lot of times we're waiting on our people that we admire to tell us we did good. You know why they ain't telling you that yet? Because you ain't impressed them. A lot of people that you admire are not going to fluff you up. They're not going to be, bro, you was great. Sounded great tonight. You have to be wary of those people because they just talking because they want to be liked. Be confident in the people that tell you things that are important, that mean something. If somebody hasn't told you how much you've grown and you know you've been growing, maybe you're not growing in ways that impress them. It's nothing personal though. We all have our own things that we like. You know, how many times have you been on a band set and people are talking about recordings And you like, I checked that out. You know you ain't heard that. You don't even know who that is. You know why? There's so much music. And it all touches us in different ways. I could hear a solo and be like, eh. You can hear and be like, oh my God, did you hear that? No, I did not. It did not touch me. But listen to what you like. Go down the hole of what you like. Be the master of that. All right? So this personal opinion, let it be what it is. Do you. Do you. Be your person in every situation. Right? Figure out what that is. Am I a person that likes to hang out and get drinks after the gig? If I am, be that person. Am I a person that likes to be late? Be ready for those consequences. Be ready for not get those calls, right? But everything that happens to you is a direct reflection of the energy you put into your life. Everything. Don't get mad at anything that's happening or not happening because you have the power to change that. The gigs that you, and even looking at things that other people have. Like we're all like, I want to go on tour. I want to go to Europe. I want to spend 20 days on the road. What does that look like? Do you have a business credit card that you can afford to pay for 3 band members that missed their flight because they went out all night? Are you ready for that? Right? Before you start saying, I want to go take a trip on the road, blah, blah, blah. Do you have insurance? Can you cover if your bus gets beaten, like robbed, if all your instruments get stolen, what you gonna do? Because as the band leader, who is looking at you? Everybody, right? So don't always dream about think rationally about everything and be grateful for where you are so that you're prepared for that next level, right? Everything's an opinion. Don't take things personal, but let's be prepared, right? In every situation. If your goals are to be an international touring artist, and right now your gigs are paying $400 a gig, that means you might be bringing home $500 a week. If at the end of the week you don't have any money, how can you handle going on tour for 20 days where you're coming home with $30,000, and you got to pay 10 people? Do you still not want to have money after that? Right? So being prepared means at every level of your life, owning it. Own every level. Manage that $100 like it was $100,000. If you're trying to be the Beyonce, my goal is to be the Beyonce of jazz. That's my thing. I'd be like, I'm the Beyonce of jazz. I want the business, the clothes, I want all of it, right? But I have to manage my business like Beyonce got businesses, right? I have to see myself as a business in every possible way, with my money management, with my production, with my advertising. All of that matters, right? So thinking of that as a business, as a band leader, if all of this is making you say, I don't want to think about all that, then be a sideman, right? You can have a wonderful career as a sideman with less headache. You ain't got to worry about nothing. You show up. I love being called I get called as a sideman very few times now, like as a feature artist. And I'm like, sign me up. I ain't got to worry about nobody. I ain't got to wake up before everybody else. I ain't got to be downstairs. I ain't got to check in everybody in their rooms. I don't have to check all the flight itineraries. I get to show up prepared in my music, right? That's like easy, right? Being prepared. How do we get those calls to go on those jobs with the people that we admire? By being prepared, being as authentically you as you can in every situation. All right? When somebody calls you for a gig, I know sometimes they're like, I don't know why they call me. They call me for it because they like what you do. Live in that. And that's not saying that to say, be comfortable, like, man, they calling me, I'm good. No, we always practice. We're always growing our craft. But don't get so caught up in your head that you're like, I'm nervous. Let me go try to learn this solo. Don't ever try to force some stuff into you the night before a gig, a competition. Like if you're trying out for the Monk or whatever, don't go like shit, like I'm gonna go learn this solo. I'm gonna spit that out. Baby, you need to be who you were that got you to that position. When I called you, I heard you 6 months ago, right? I heard you 3 months ago. I might have heard you last week. Don't go trying to be a whole new person, because that ain't who what happened to that thing you did that I heard? That's what I wanted, you know? So when we're thinking again about everything, not taking it personal, this business and life, everybody is looking out for themselves. Everybody. Every single person. When I call you for my gig, I have a budget. I have a time frame. I need to know, like, Darian got kids now. Can he leave his house for 10 days without his wife being like, for that amount, honey, we gonna need some more money, right? You may not have no kids. And I'd be like, he might could go for a little That has nothing to do with how you play. And that's not personal. That's business. That is business. I have learned why you see all the young cats on the gigs when they touring, because it's cheaper. It's cheaper. And there are many different things. Younger cats are willing to like mend to you, right? Again, I'm selfish. I'm hiring you to fit into my world. I have a picture that I'm trying to paint. Can you and what you do, I'm not trying to diminish what you do, but can you fit into my circle? Are your colors gonna clash with my palette? Right? I've got a palette already set up. I can't bring bright pink in here if I'm all autumn. And if I do bring the bright pink, I gotta have somebody else to like, am I ready to give you the energy it's gonna take to like calm down that pink? Right? And think about that when you're even sitting in with people, when you're going to meet other musicians. Am I matching the energy that they have on this bandstand right now? When I get in there, right? Well, let me ease my way in, but once I get in, then I can be my pink self. But when I'm trying to get somebody to hear me and listen to me, I have to respect them enough to say, let me get into what you're doing, and then let me show you what I do, right? You can't just go to somebody's gig and be like, oh, I want to do this song. You ain't never heard them play that groove, that style. Like, what? Why would you do that? Do you not know who we are? This is what we do. Okay, vibe. Welcome to New Orleans. All right, so we're being personal. Not taking things personal. We're being prepared and always being the person that you are, again, in every situation. Having the conversations off the bandstand, when we go out to eat, we go have coffee, we go take a walk, we go hiking. All of that, everything that we do on a bandstand is a reflection of who you are as a person, right? The way you communicate on your horn, on your acts, is a direct reflection of how you talk to people in your conversations, how you handle yourself in life, right? People who are really like, when they pick up their horn, you be like, okay, this has got a lot to say, right? Some people are more sensitive and take a little more time to get into what they really want to say. You can tell that by the way they play their horn. How does that go into the band, right? How do we communicate together? But don't ever be afraid to be who you are when you get that call. You have to be the person that they wanted when they called you. Because I'm looking for that, right? And not everybody has the acumen as a band leader to give you a chance or bring it out of you. You know, I know y'all have heard a lot about band leaders and working with band leaders, and it can be difficult. And even I've learned so much as a band leader. I used to hire all the old cats that have played with every vocalist. Like I had the Diane Reeves trio, right? But I was way younger and they were all older, and they didn't do what I wanted them to do. And I was like, I don't know why these men don't follow me, because they don't respect me because I'm a little girl in their eyes, right? So I had to hire people who would respect me as a band leader and give me what I needed versus fighting with me like, this is how it goes. That's how it went. That's how it's not going to go for me, because I'm actually paying people today. So if you can't give me what I need, I'm going to call somebody else. All right? I'm going to give y'all one more story about not taking things personally. Not taking things personally. As people, there are levels, we know this, there are levels in music. There's local, regional, national, international. And all those different levels, every level of your life requires different things from you, right? And there are more people listening, right? And I had my first international tour was booked. My album was coming out, and I was rehearsing with my band, and everybody, all the executives and all my mentors are coming to listen to the band. And I had a show at Snug, and they came and they were like, yeah, you can't take those cats with you to Europe. I had to fire the whole band that had already I had already booked. They had already 12 days. We going. This is how much you getting paid. It's where we stand. I had to fire 3 people. They still don't like me. It's not personal. It's not personal. When there's business involved and different ears hear different things that are available at different levels, right? So we take the information that we get and we process it for what it is, what its value is. Because everybody, again, these opinions are based on our personal experiences. So if I've only lived in Louisiana and I've only listened to bass players in Louisiana, my reference is very different than somebody that has traveled the world and heard bass players in 18 countries, right? So if I'm getting ready to go on tour and somebody that's heard from Pistorius to Marcus Miller says, yeah, he's not the one for you right now, I kind of got to go with that move. And you can't take it personal. It's just business. It's business, right? So whether you get a call or you don't get a call, don't let that downplay your worth. Like, continue to do your job, grind on your thing, do your thing, believe in your thing. And the places where you're supposed to be, you're going to be there. Every stage is not for you. And every audience is not for you. So you always want to be in a situation where you feel like your artistry is valued, not just with the audience, but on the bandstand as well. That's very important. It's very important. You are the business. You are the business, right? Some of us are Chick-fil-A. Some of us are Burger King. Is y'all machine working today? Like, y'all working today? Y'all got fries today? Is the grease hot? I mean, it says y'all do this, but is it today? Chick-fil-A every day, baby, all day. You gonna get it. Every time the lights come on, I'm giving you the show. Period. You're not gonna question. And I could have just came through the fire, baby. The lights, showtime. That's Chick-fil-A. That's Mercedes, right? They also require a different thing. Not that everybody doesn't have business and everybody can't function. They all on Forbes. Everybody eats there. But what kind of business are you gonna be? Are you the person I have to call and say, hey, bro, you put that on your calendar? Did you double book somebody? Because guess what? I'm not calling you like that at a certain point. When we get to where we're not working in town, I don't have time to be wondering if you put my date on your calendar. Because on the 12th, we leaving. And I'm gonna need you to be there. Or the next time, I'm calling someone else. Period. It's so much more than what you put on the bandstand. Your vibe, your energy. And if you're not somebody that likes to be super personal, you have to be a little personal in this business. It's all about relationships. It's all about relationships and perception and opinions. So if you're a quiet person and you don't really kick it with people and that makes people think you don't like them, once you find that out, you have a decision. Am I going to change that about me, or am I going to deal with those consequences of people not thinking I like them because I don't talk? It's your choice. Either is fine. And that means you start your own band and you hire people when you want. That's fine. I, as a vocalist, I had to start my own band because people wasn't calling me. Or I'd be like, do they like me or they like how I sing? Yeah, I'm going to just go get my own band so I don't have to worry about that. That was my decision, right? As a woman in this business, maybe that's a whole nother conversation. But it's a whole nother conversation. But you have to be a business from jump. Go take some marketing classes. Go take a class on Adobe, on how to make a flyer, having basic skills, because before you can pay somebody to do it, you're going to do it all. You're going to do it all. All. And even after you can pay somebody to do it, you're going to do it then too. Because COVID be shutting stuff down and then you can't pay nobody no more. And you're like, how do I do this again? I don't know. That's where I'm at. I'm like, this internet is not the same as it was 6 years ago. But yeah, be the business. Decide whether you're going to be Chick-fil-A or Burger King. And always invest in yourself. Always invest in yourself. And that is as simple as listening to something you never listened to. Going to a concert of a show of somebody you never heard of. Always pouring into yourself. Your life is what makes you an artist. You're a reflection of the things around you. Go to an art gallery. Go to see a pottery. Take a different class. Like, get out of the music sometimes and just be a person. And listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. Reflect on everything. Journaling will be one of your best friends. Journaling will be one of your best friends. If you continue this course of life, you're going to see the world. You're going to meet thousands of people. There are going to be moments that you're going to wish you would have remembered in some kind of way other than just being there. So journaling about the shows that you, even if it's just on the days of your shows or rehearsals, you will be so happy to go back and reflect on the times that you spent in Switzerland when you were 19 and you couldn't believe that so-and-so called you for the gig. Like, it's going to be, you'll be 40 before you know it, and you'll be like, wait, that happened? Yes, it happened, right? So journal, reflect on everything, continue listening to all kinds of music, not just what you like, all kind of stuff, and believe in yourself. Questions?
I do have a question. What was like the first steps you took to becoming a band leader?
So much I didn't know. So I didn't study jazz in school or any of that. I was a vocal performance major in classical music. So as far as experience on counting off a band, they don't really teach you that in school. Experience as far as vamping or ending a song, improvising, I didn't have any of that information. So as a side person, I worked with all of the, like I heard them telling, the band leaders that I liked, the bands that I liked to go hear, the bands that looked like I wanted to look, the presentations that I was given, the presentations that I saw, that I envisioned for myself, those are the people I tried to work with. You know, I want people to, I'm very anal about my voice, and I want you to listen to me. So do I want to be in an environment where you just dancing and drinking all night? Not really, because I'm like selfish. Y'all gonna shut up and listen to me sing, because I practiced, okay? So I looked at people who did those type of shows and what type of music did they sing, because I, again, came from a classical world. I can sing you out of a box. It's the decision for me to go into jazz as an art form was a business decision, because I was older, I had children. Jazz gigs have guarantees. I'm not working for the door. I'm guaranteed this much money. If I leave my house, I'm coming home with this, period. And I can maybe sell some CDs. Was that looking back on it now, would I have done something differently? Maybe, but at that moment, it's what me and my kids needed. Money. And I get to sing. Not, hey y'all, I got this new song I wrote. Y'all gonna pay $5 to get in? Oh, nobody came. Dang. It's a different life. Two different roads, equally. I will say, like at the same time I was starting, Tank the Bangers was starting. And their path was, hey, we wrote this song. It's $5 to get in. Nobody came. Mine was, hey, do you know what it means? Everybody came, they paid their money, I went home with a check. But don't nobody know me. Everybody know Tank the Bangers. So it's different. It's a give and a take. Like whatever path you take is your path, and you can be successful and make a living on either of those. But you have to, like, when I tell you be a business and be rational about your decisions from the beginning. What is the minimum amount of money I need to leave my house? My peace is important, right? What is the minimum, the maximum amount of time I want to be away from my home this week? My peace is important. I cannot be a great performer if I'm always giving myself away to things that don't add value to me. That's a life lesson. Period. I have learned, like, this coming out of Corona, booking tours. Whoa, baby, everybody has their own new boundaries, right? I have this tour, not a tour, I have a one-off gig that just came out in Germany. And that was the hardest thing to book for, because who wants to go to Germany for 3 days? It's one show. So I'm only, as a side, you're getting paid for the day you go to work. That's when you get paid, the day you go to work. So if we go to Germany for 5 days, and we got one show, how many checks you getting? How many days you gotta eat? I'm gonna get you over there, and I'm gonna feed you once a day. That's my standard. But you don't know what that's going to be. That could be a sandwich in the box. That could be some cold whatever in the morning for breakfast. You have no, I really don't know yet. Because the promoter told me they was going to feed us. And I'm like, all right, they said they're going to feed us. Right? And that's my minimum. So how hard is it for me to get people who have a church gig, they got 3 gigs on Saturdays, to come spend 5 days with me in Germany for 1 check? That means my check got to be what? Listen, ain't nobody got money. So it was the hardest thing. And so what hit me was I really got some respect for a drummer that I had to call. And so one drummer I had hired, he was like, yeah, I didn't know it was the weekend. In order for me to miss church, I'm going to need this much more money. And I'm going to need an Uber ride to the budget. So I'm like, okay, give me a second. So I call another person. Call him. I gave my offer. When, how long, the money. I'm the same type of band leader. Let's keep it real. This is what I need from you. This is what I got. You do not have to accept that. You do not have to say, okay, what you can say, that's an offer. That's just how I work. People offer me shows. Okay, for that, you get the trio. Oh, for that, you get the duo. For that, I can bring you myself and introduce this other stuff. Right? So I offered this man these things. And he said, I'm going to need this. And I was like, oh, I was not expecting that from you, young man. But I respect him. Right? And even if I don't hire him, that isn't just because I didn't hire him at that moment doesn't mean I won't circle back, because I still enjoy his artistry. Just for this show, my budget was not allowed. So let me go call somebody else. Right? But I don't, even when I started here in New Orleans and I was doing shows, there were people I would call and they would tell me, well, Quiana, on a Saturday, I don't leave my house for less than this. I respect that, because when I get that money, guess who I'm calling? Say, bro, I got them ends. Can you make this hit? And then they get there and I'm like, why did I call you? Because you don't even listen to me. Because you're so smart. Are you listening to me? But that made me a better band leader. Communicating. And being retrospective to yourself. If you're not getting what you want from people, check your delivery. If you've asked somebody the same thing, you've asked several people the same thing, and they're not giving you what you want, it ain't them. Start with yourself. How did I ask that? Am I making myself clear? Did I really ask for what I wanted? Am I convoluting this with some extra information that doesn't need to be shared? Right? As a band leader, and then in jazz, it's so many different things. In this idiom, sometimes you don't have a band. And you're always playing with a different bass player, a different pianist. And so that experience can be fun. And then I like that experience sometimes. But sometimes I just want to be with some people that know when I breathe, we gonna all be together. And that's a different feeling, you know? And you get that when you spend weeks or a few days. I've enjoyed those runs at clubs where you get to play at a club like 6 days in a row. And then the band just feels like we just together, you know, but that doesn't happen a lot in this form of music because you're hopping around. People don't have budget to fly your whole band. They only want to bring you. Can you hire people in New York? So you have a New York band, you got an East Coast band, you got a West Coast band, you got a half band in Europe. Just bring me and my pianist and we can find some other people. Or I know somebody's on tour over there already and they can just hop over with us. That's the labor of this idiom that's like classical music because it's an artistic, people want to listen to it for a different reason. Yeah, but I don't know, did I answer your question? There's so many things I did when I decided I wanted to be, when I got tired of sitting in and I realized that people weren't going to call me like I wanted them to. I could show up to your gig and be as killing as I want. But for some reason, when you get your call, you call your cousin or your friend because you like hanging out with them because you know them. That's what it's not personal. We get together. I know what she gonna do. She does her songs. She may not be the best vocalist, but if she saw me post a picture with you, she'd be mad. Right? So you can't take it personal. That's them. I stopped taking things personal. Nobody's gonna give me what I want. Let me go make this right quick. Book me a gig, hire me some cats, let's get it. But you learn from all the other situations. Yeah, but the best things I would say, build your repertoire. Always build and keep building your repertoire. Repertoire. Early. Until you're making creative shows where people are coming to hear your expression, repertoire is number one. I got a call randomly, and this is why you always just want to be prepared. You never know when you're going to get things thrown at you, and you don't know why, and you don't question it. All right, so the Louis Armstrong Foundation called me to do a studio session about Louis Armstrong and his effect with vocalists, right? And they gave me this budget. We need you to come to New York. It was like 6 days before the thing, and I had to put a band together and have an hour show, like in 6 days in the studio. And then they were gonna record it, video, and it's like this big TV production, which is also stress. You wanna be your best, like be as good as you can be, because all that other stuff is stress. And when you're stressed, what's gonna come out of you is what you know. And what you know, you want to be the best at, anyways. So I called all these cats together. I bring my pianist from here, and it's so many variables. It's after it was just in like maybe March. Nobody's been gigging. Nobody's been in the room with people. We're like, are we masking? We not masking? Y'all show your card. We didn't show our card. So energy in places right now is just different, because everybody has these different levels of anxiety they're anxious about performing. Like just that word anxious has so many different variables to it. So I get these cats together in the room. We're reading these charts again. So I have these charts, these arrangements of songs, because I want to do my thing and feel good about what I'm doing, because I'm selfish. I could have just called some tunes and said, let's make up this arrangement that we all gonna feel good about. But no, I want to be the best version of myself at all times, and y'all gonna suffer, because this is not personal. This is about who? Me. Whose name is on there? Mine. Selfish, okay? But I like y'all. We gonna do this. We gonna have fun, and this is not personal, okay? So we get in the studio, and we start rehearsing, and we had to rehearse before the session. I'm a vocalist. My voice gets tired. I cannot sing this stuff for 3 hours and then expect to be able to give my best optimal performance. So am I about to be rehearsing this same thing? I was like, okay. So we start rehearsing, and things were like, we were chopping through the things. It was cool, but the rhythm section was not happy, you know? And that's the thing in music, because we all, like I said, we all have these personalities, and the bandstand is a constant conversation. Like, bro, you know what happened? Yeah, bro, you did this, and then what happened? Da 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 da. It's this conversation back and forth. The bass and the drums are having, and you have to respond and communicate effectively. Somebody's gonna be like, hey, like, bruh, he said, did you hear what he said over there? No, because you was talking, right? And that's what was happening in my brain. And also, like, my pianist and I have only been doing duo shows for the last year and a half. So he's had me all to himself, right? I've had him all to myself. And we're used to doing this, and now we got these other people, and we like, oh, we gotta talk to y'all. And it was getting a little, I was like, this is not, I couldn't tell if anybody else felt it, but I was like, it don't feel good to me. So let me stop. Let's take 5, fellas. Everybody take 5. Clear the room. Take a break. Stretch. And we went again. And I still wasn't getting what I needed. And I was like, all right, y'all do a song. I was like, y'all pick a song, y'all play a song and play. Like the rhythm section. Because the rhythms, it's a unit, right? And so that gave the band a moment to just not think about a chart, not think about what we're about to perform, but just think about what's up. Like, I hear you, I feel you, I see you. Oh, that was hip. Like something that we do all the time that I now have a fresh, like, let me show you how I perceive this, you know? And that's what we want to bring into the bandstand, is our own unique perspective. on whatever this is that we're doing. But we have to be willing to have that ebb and flow of like, oh, ooh, I hear you. All right, well, let me get you this. Okay. So it's a response, a call and response. That's why I started with the call and response too, is because if you're not listening to me, what are we doing? We have to be listening to each other at all times. All times. Communication is key. Yeah. Going back to being who you are, whenever you think about your brand, for me, when you think about branding, all right, this is a brand is Nike is the swoop. It's been the swoop for 30, 40, 50. It's going to be the swoop, right? They are comfortable with that swoop. Whatever you pick for your brand, let it be something that you are comfortable doing every day. And that should be what you are, who you are. You don't want to wake up and be like, oh, I got to put on this jumpsuit. I got to put on this leotard. I bet you Beyonce loves wearing swimsuits. I love wearing flowy, halfway hot little, that's my vibe. So I could do that every day. I want to be pretty. I like putting on makeup. It's not work for me. It's what I like to do. So when you think about your brand, you want to think about what can you do every day. That would be my advice. Now, there are other, as an artist, because this is what you're going to have to live with every day. Whether, God forbid, my grandmother died, I had to go do a show. My daughter got in a wreck, I had to go do a show. I didn't feel like doing that. But because of my brand, it wasn't outside of who I am to step into this role. Does that make sense? Yeah. But if you create this brand of like, I'm this alter ego and blah, 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 and you got to like go in a closet and like get yourself hyped to even be that person, what's going to make you do that on a day that life hits you? Because life is going to keep lifing. That's what I think sometimes we forget. We see these people and we put them on this pedestal. They are normal people with life. They got a relative that is asking them for money right now. Period. Because they think they famous. And everybody's going to think you famous. Everybody is going to think you're famous just because you travel for work and they don't. It's crazy that I was just having this conversation with another musician and we were talking about, and I'm going to just say it. He was like, why aren't there as many killing female artists as there are male artists? And I've really been pondering on that, but I'm gonna speak to what you're talking about. All right, so sexism is everywhere. It's everywhere. This industry is dominated. I'm a firm person that believes, though, in any situation, whatever game I'm gonna play, I'm gonna learn the rules, so that way I can win the game. If you don't know the rules, you cannot win the game. So if you go into a game knowing that it's fixed against you, you're not gonna be like, why is this so bad? Oh my God, it's so bad. It's bad. It's bad. And even if you're not a creepy person, I promise you, a third of the people that you associate with, you know they creepy. And you know that when you're not around, they put your female counterparts in precarious situations. So I would say, if you are not a creepy person, definitely stand up more to those creepy people. Even if it's not in that situation, be like, say, bro, you know it's kind of creepy, right? On the slick. However, you need to do it. Because we can't fight all the battles that come at us. And that's how we fight it, is we hire people that we don't feel offensive by. We hire people that we don't like. And I'm going to keep it real with you. I know you looking. I know you see it. I know I'm beautiful. But don't let me catch you. Bro, what is you doing? Like, what are we doing right now? Like, stop. Okay? There's lines to this. And that's just life. That is life. I mean, that is life. And is the camera off? It's still rolling? Golly. I'm ready to say it. Because I feel like this is a place that I've been wanting to talk about, but I've been just like, I don't know if I'm ready to put my name on it. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. Dang. No. I'll edit it out. You gotta say it again. I'm not going to say this. Okay, for the youth. Everybody's over what age? 13? You're consenting people. Not consenting, but you're 13. In this business, and this is from me as a woman, the quicker you can learn how to work with people that potentially want to see you naked, the better you'll be. That is the realest thing I can say as a woman in this business. A friend of mine called me to play at their graduate recital. He wanted me to do a song on his graduate recital at my alma mater, right? And you know, when you go through school, you have to submit your recital and all the people who are on it and the songs, and the board would not let him have me on the stage. He had another vocalist that was a male. They were like, he's fine, but she can't perform with you because she'll take attention from the show. So it's not, and this is men saying this. So it's a whole patriarchal thing that we're dealing with. Like, the men are in control of this business, and men are selling things. It's not personal. It is sales. It is sales. They are selling this, whatever. Historically, you know, they're always going to tell you, they probably tell you, Zaria, oh, you're the vocalist? No, I got a horn in my hand, right? And I balk at people all the time, like, why I got to be the vocalist? I mean, I am, but why I got to be the vocalist? So these are all stereotypes and things that are going to be a part of your journey. You're not going to go into a room, or they're going to think you date somebody in the band. I'm like, no, they work for me. It's my band. What's the name? My name. It's mine. Goodbye. Yeah, no, that's real. That's real business. That's real business. The people in power, and that's life. Let me tell you. 10 years ago, Zaria, Miss Quiana was how much heavier? A whole bunch. And she said, I want to be mainstream. Do I have to lose weight to be mainstream? No. Is it going to help my chances? Hell yes. That's business. I'm not being personal. That's business. How can I get from A to B the quickest with least resistance? That's a personal decision. Everybody doesn't have to do, like I said, drop 50, let me drop 50 right quick. Boop, boop. That ladder was like, because your palatability becomes wider. And these are games that you choose to play. These are games I choose. I said, I want to play that game. I'm going to play it. Everybody doesn't have to. I can stand on that though. But these are all, again, I say that after I've already said, like, be you and stick to your person. This is not contradicting. Everything just has consequences, good and bad. Everything, you know, and everything that you go through is a lesson of either what to do or what not to do. If you just go through life and realize everything, you're just learning. It's just class. Class is never out of session. You're learning. Every situation is something that you can add to your, oh, I like this, or we ain't going over there no more, or watch it when you go down there. Your life is just so much more fulfilled because you're not trying to get to this random thing. You just journeying and enjoying it as you go. That is very important.
Here we go, y'all. Give it up for Quiana.
Yeah.